I'm Dr. K.V. Kiran Kumar, anesthesiologist and intensivist for Jamantan Hospital, Sattapur, Hyderabad. Right, regarding coronavirus, right, that's been going all around the world. What I just wanted to give emphasis on what precautions are we taking at our hospital particularly, right? Here we have inpatients as well as outpatients. In the other block, in the inpatients, again we have patients which are in the ICUs, we have in the rooms and in the general wards. Right? These are two categories, and we have one more. This thing is the operative theatre complex along with the supportive ICU and post-op care segment. Initially, when a patient walks into our hospital, especially after this corona pandemic has arisen, but we are trying to triage the patient right in the very beginning, right in the casualty itself. The moment the patient enters the hospital, right, they are taken separately to a separate cubicle, right, with the nurses or any other staff that are handling the particular patient will have a proper PPE, this thing, gowns and masks they wear, right, which that makes that if at all the staff has any infection, that won't be transmitted to the patient, because we don't know if the patient has corona or he might have or he might not have corona. So that is from the staff side, we take at most this thing. We ask the staff to wash their hands with given type of chemicals. There are so many chemicals that are available to disinfect. We call them as disinfectants. They are in liquid form or gel form, right? Those are used to wash the hands and put on the disposable gloves before they touch any patient, so that for each and every patient, right, once they see the patient, the nurses remove the gloves and they are thrown in a concealed container. The vital parameters are noted there. And for example, the main three things, main symptomatology in corona patients is, first is fever, right? Second is cough, that is like sore throat. Then is cold, right? If they have all these, right? And first is the temperature, right? We see if they falls in the temperature line or not. Then cough and cold, and then any history of sore throat for how many days, everything. Then if it is needed, then the patient is shown to a physician initially, right? And if the physician feels that there is a requirement for a chest X-ray or HRCT, right? If there is some bad lungs, right? If he thinks that there is any lung infection, right? We advise a chest X-ray and minimal blood workup, just like complete blood picture, right? And HRCT, right now, which is available in many places, and that gives a very certain amount of perfect diagnosis. If there is any lung ailment, there is acute or chronic, we can differentiate. So we can start the treatment if at all the patient, like just to see if a patient is COVID positive or a negative. If we think yes, the patient is has the symptomatology of COVID, then we try to take the nasal swabs, right, that are prescribed by the WHO and the Indian government, and as per the laws that are prevailing right now in India, because we get guidelines every day, sometimes even every hours, also a few hours the guidelines are changing, that are being given by the government, like at the level of the state government, Telangana government, or at the level of Indian government. We have to follow those rules, and appropriately the patient is, sometimes we have to send the patient to the referral hospitals that are set up in the states. For example, in Hyderabad, the first line of hospital we have is the Gandhi Hospital, and in the preliminary triaging itself, right, we try to rule out whether the patient is suffering from COVID, that is a coronavirus, and we will try to, yes or no, right. If the patient has to be referred to the referral hospital, yes, we do refer them immediately with whatever the investigation that we have done here, we give to them to their hand, and we will refer to the particular hospital whichever the government, local authorities have specified to us. And then Next thing is, if the patient can be taken up, the patient is negative with the COVID symptomatology, so we can go and admit the patient. Yes, we are taking up the patients here, especially for mainly we are more specialized in, it is a multi-specialty hospital, but we are more into orthopedics and knee replacement, knee and joint replacements, and all other type of traumas, because traumas are emergency, we have to treat them on an immediate basis, right? And we are doing the operations by taking all the precautions at every level, right from the patient side, even all the patients even in the ward or even in the ICU, right, they are supposed to wear the mask. Even the attenders who are attending them should wear in a mask, and they are given special type of gowns. Even the attenders, when they enter the particular ward or room, they have to wear the gown, and they have to leave it outside, remove it once they are done with the patient. Same thing in the operating theatre, strictly all the doctors and the operative staff, those are the male nurses or female nurses, they are given special PPEs, those are personal protective equipment that covers from head to toe, right, including the eyewears, right, covering the whole of the face, then to the face mask, then from head to toe gowns that are disposable with leggings and shoes, right, duck shoes and gloves, everything. They are provided, and they are changed for every surgery. So once we complete the surgery, yes, we have to go outside, we have to remove everything, dispose them in a sealed containers, and again come back, right, again follow the same rules, desanitizing ourselves, right, again clean washing of the hands and everything, again wear a new PPE kit and come into the theatre. And in theatres, and the most important thing is maintaining the serenity and the sterility of the theatre environment. What we do is, we have 3 theatre complexes, theatres running right now here, right, and we sterilize, right, and fumigate each and every theatre complex, right, by case basis, and at the end of the day the general whole OT is fumigated, right, for the best protection of the patients. If it is a diagnosed patient, now there are 2 stages here, 2 per se 3, but mostly we'll go with the 2, positive persons and negative persons, right. A positive person coming to positive, right, he might stay positive for a week or 10 days, right, with the treatment, and then he comes to negative. Sometimes what happens is, even to get to the positive level, there is a time where the patient is asymptomatic, he is an asymptomatic carrier, then he will show symptoms, right. Even at that stage the patient might come negative, right. Those we have to watch for the signs and symptoms more. Once the patient is positive, yes, strict isolation is done, right. There are separate set of staff that totally deal with those patients, and they don't mingle with any other staff in the hospital, right, and their exit and entry routes are totally separate. They don't mingle at all with the other part of the hospital, right. And a negative patient, yes, they are put more like a isolation, right, wherein a few people, like 4 or 5 people, can stay in a ward, but they are not, their movement is again restricted. They can't freely walk around the whole hospital, because we don't know, sometimes they might turn positive. So until such a given period, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, as per new WHO guidelines, it is 3 weeks of negativity, right, continuous negativity, then only we can say that he has totally recovered from the COVID or the coronavirus. Recently we have seen, just 2 years back, we have seen H1N1, that is a swine flu, right, even that became a pandemic. Even now, the first thing is maintaining cleanliness, that is personal cleanliness, washing hands, wearing a mask, right. There are so many types of masks available in a market. If you think it is a high risk, right, being doctors, we try to wear N95 mask that is globally accepted, wherein so many viruses and bacteria can be filtered, because we should not be the main transmitter, because we will be seeing so many patients in a day. We should not be the transmitter of the disease to other normal people. So we try to maintain the self hygiene, first washing hands, wearing the proper type of fitting face mask that is really needed, like N95 face mask and disposable face mask. Right, sometimes what we are doing is, now we are using one face mask, and when we see the next patient, right, we use the next face mask, and even the change of disposable gloves we are using, and the dresses, personal PP kits, if you are done with the one ward rounds, like that. We are trying to maintain the hygiene. Always try to educate the patients how much distance you have to follow. Distance maintaining, that is because there is a set of length that once a person coughs, right, the virus or the bacteria can travel to so much of distance, like it might be a 2 feet or a 3 feet or 4 feet. There is a mention. Now there is now the reason in COVID also, that distance maintaining from person to person became very important here. So as per strict WHO lines, it is 6 feet, 6.2 feet. But in some the later on versions have said 4 feet is enough, right? So maintaining the distance between patient to the patient, that is when even when we see the patient, it's not that we put face and interact with the patient, right? Even we have to maintain a specific amount of distance from the patient when we monitor the patient or anything. There are two extremes in ages: pediatric age group and elderly age group. These two groups are most vulnerable to the diseases, because the pediatric group, they don't have that immunity developed in them, and the old people, they are more with the comorbid diseases. Let it be like hypertension, diabetes, so many other related diseases which make them scramble more easily to the disease. And normal middle age group, right? Now we have to this thing, and there are natural acquired immunity, right? Once you are exposed to a virus, the antibodies develop within your body, right? And next time when you are exposed to the same virus, you might not be having all the symptomatology. There are so many thousands of viruses that prevail in the air, and we are exposed daily, and we don't suffer from any symptoms because we have that immunity against a particular viruses or bacteria, right? And to get proper immunity, right, is always first thing is maintaining the sanitary right? Second thing important is the food. What type of food we take? It should be a high calorie diet, right? High calorie protein diet, right? Less of carbs, and eat more of fruits, right? And fiber food more, and more of proteinous food, right? Which helps us to recover more faster from the diseases. My message to the public is, please try to follow the precautions that are given by the government or the local body agencies, and whatever the hospitals or the doctors advise to you, maintaining the self-hygiene part, right? Second thing is the maintaining of self-distance maintaining, right? And third thing is not to move in groups. That is our utmost thing. Even in the hospitals, at the time when a shift is over, we see sudden afflux and influx. The movement of the doctors or the staff or the patients is very important. I advise, right, don't flock, right? Please try to make some distance for yourself. You should move away. Even if somebody is coming towards you, you try to just be away from them, right? And social distancing is the key point in getting or winning over the COVID or coronavirus. Stay away from coronavirus.
Towards perfection, we follow robust practices. We ensure zero infection. There are no compromises.